stream the language.
You know, hunting oak trees is probably, whether it's bow hunting or gun hunting, is probably the favored food source for most hunters. And it's also the food source that probably lasts the longest of any feed trees. And you know, you got sawtooth oaks, they fall early. Like in our part of the world, they start falling in September and they pretty much all fall at once. So by the time October gets here, you might have a week or so to hunt sawtooth, but then you got your pin oaks or water oaks. They usually start falling in September, and by the end of October, they're usually falling good. Like striped oaks or nuttalls, they usually don't fall till November, December. I've even seen them falling on into January. And those white oaks, there are probably more of those throughout the country than, you know, they're big acorns. They're a very preferred food source. And if you're in a spot and you got ridges full of white oaks, it's harder because a deer can just walk down one ridge or down a bottom and feed, and there's no set tree. That's when you got to do your scouting and find out how they're getting there. If you're on a new place, they're pretty easy to key into just by looking at the tops of them in December, because they hold the leaves the longest, and the ones that hold the leaves are typically the ones that'll be falling the longest too, because they're red oak species, striped oaks, and that's what you want to look for. But don't overlook those oak trees, and the sign on them is just like we talked about on persimmon trees. If you start seeing a lot of old droppings and then a lot of fresh droppings and still a lot of acorns on the ground, that's a spot you need to camp out for a while, especially late in the year, because they come